Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're getting festive. Yeah, we're diving into a holiday classic. It's The Night Before from 2015.
Ooh, a good one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Three best friends on their annual Christmas Eve bender.
Sounds like my kind of holiday tradition.
But things get a little extra wild this year.
I can imagine.
We've got the plot summary, some character breakdowns, behind the scenes info. Let's get this party started.
All right, let's do it.
So The Night Before basically takes this familiar holiday setup, Christmas Eve, childhood friends, traditions,
Right.
and injects it with this raunchy R-rated humor.
Yeah, definitely not your typical Hallmark Christmas movie.
No, no. But here's the thing. Underneath all those crazy antics and, the shenanigans, there's this really heartwarming core to the film.
Interesting.
It's all about friendship, dealing with loss, facing the realities of, growing up.
Sounds like a holiday cocktail with a surprising kick.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of
Agree.
sweet with a whole lot of spice.
I like.
So the heart of the film is this annual Christmas Eve tradition that these three friends, they've been doing for years.
Okay.
And it all started as a way for them to support their friend Ethan after his parents died on Christmas Eve back in 2001.
Oh, wow. So it started with a tragedy.
Yeah, it's like the sacred ritual for them.
Yeah,
It
why-
represents this unbreakable bond, especially for Ethan, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, he's great.
He really brings this depth to the role,
I can see that.
right? And this year it's like their last hurrah before they officially enter adulthood.
Ah, so there's a sense of finality to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They know things are about to change. There's this underlying melancholy, mixed with this like determination to make this one last night legendary.
Clinging to their youth.
Totally.
Very
They're holding on for dear life.
makes sense. It's tough to let go of traditions.
Speaking of these guys,
Hmm.
let's talk about the actors who bring them to life.
Hmm?
So we've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
He can do no wrong in my book.
Yeah.
But really, he brings this amazing depth to Ethan, balancing the humor with this underlying sadness.
Yeah, I can see how that would resonate with audiences.
You just can't help but root for him as he navigates, this messy chapter of his life.
Absolutely.
And then there's Seth Rogen as Isaac. He brings his signature brand of, enhanced humor.
Oh, yeah, Seth Rogen. You know what you're getting with him.
Exactly. And he delivers. His character's about to become a dad and is like completely freaking out, which leads to some hilarious moments.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, totally. Isaac's journey throughout the film is a roller coaster, fueled by anxiety and, well, questionable substances.
I can only imagine the chaos that ensues.
You'll have to watch to find out.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And let's not forget Anthony Mackie as Chris. He honestly steals the show in a lot of scenes.
Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that.
I know, right? He plays this famous football player who's dealing with the pressures of fame and a secret steroid habit.
Oh, wow. That adds another layer to his character.
Right. And his humor's different. It's like this dry wit that plays perfectly off of Rogen and Gordon-Levitt.
So the three of them together are comedic gold.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Their chemistry is undeniable. They just bounce off each other so naturally.
It sounds like they really captured that authentic friend dynamic.
They did. They did. Each actor brings something unique to the table, but it's their dynamic as a trio that elevates the film.
I love that.
You believe in their friendship, even when they're, knee-deep in some ridiculous situation.
That's so important for a comedy like this.
Yeah, it makes it believable, and you can relate to it.
Right. And speaking of believing it, I gotta mention the supporting cast is fantastic, too.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Jillian Bell as Isaac's wife, Betsy. She's so dry and sarcastic. Some of the best one-liners in the movie.
Oh, yeah, she's hilarious.
And then you've got Lizzie Kaplan as Diana Ethan's ex. And Mindy Kaling pops up, too. Oh, and I can't forget, there's even a cameo by Miley Cyrus.
Whoa, hold on, Miley Cyrus. What?
I know. It's a quick one, but she's there.
That's awesome. It's like a testament to the film's appeal that it drew in such a talented group of actors.
It definitely speaks to the quality of the project.
So let's talk about the man behind the camera. The director, Jonathan Levine. He's known for his work on films like 50-50.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's so good. Such a great blend of humor and heart.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job of balancing those elements.
And he brings that same sensibility to The Night Before.
I can definitely see that.
He has this amazing ability to find those authentic human moments amidst the chaos.
Yeah.
The awkwardness and the absurdity.
Yeah. It's a tough balance to strike.
It is. He doesn't shy away from the emotional stuff,
Yeah.
but he also knows how to keep it light and entertaining.
That's a real skill.
For sure. He's walking
Yeah.
that tightrope between heartfelt and hilarious.
Right.
Okay, so back to the plot. These guys are determined to make this last Christmas Eve legendary. Their holy grail is getting into this super exclusive party called the Nutcracker Ball.
Oh, the Nutcracker Ball. I've heard of this.
It's legendary, almost mythical.
Yeah.
They've been dreaming about attending it for years.
So it's like the ultimate goal.
Yeah, it's like this symbol of everything wild and exciting about Christmas in New York City.
Sounds pretty epic.
And of course, their journey to get to the ball is anything but smooth sailing.
Of course not. Where's the fun in that?
Exactly. It's filled with all sorts of crazy detours.
Well, we gotta hear about these detours.
So Isaac ends up on a wild shroom trip. Chris is grappling with a stolen weed dilemma. And Ethan has some seriously awkward encounters with his ex Diana.
Oh man, sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it is. And then there's Mr. Green, played by the always brilliant Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon, now we're talking.
He pops up throughout the film as this enigmatic drug dealer who kind of acts as a mysterious guide for the guys.
Interesting.
He offers these cryptic pieces of advice and these glimpses into their past and future.
He's like a weird Christmas angel.
Yeah, exactly. Steering them towards some kind of revelation.
I like it. Always good to have a little mystery.
Yeah, definitely. He brings a whole different energy to the film.
I can imagine. It's Michael Shannon. He's always intense.
He is.
Yeah.
But there's this underlying humor to his performance, too. It's perfect.
Oh, I bet he nails it.
He does. He does. And it's like he represents the magic and mystery of the holiday season, you know?
Yeah, that unpredictable element that shakes things up a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He pushes the characters outside of their comfort zones.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Amidst all the crazy antics and hilarious mishaps, the film actually touches on some surprisingly profound themes.
It does.
We see Ethan wrestling with his grief over his parents' death, Isaac confronting his anxieties about becoming a father, and Chris struggling with the burden of his celebrity status and his reliance on steroids.
It's deep stuff.
It is. It really is. It's like they're all trying to figure out who they are and where they belong as they enter this new chapter of their lives.
Yeah, it's a lot to process, especially during the holidays.
Right, when everything's supposed to be jolly and bright.
Exactly. And the film doesn't shy away from those darker aspects of these themes.
Mm.
You know, it acknowledges that growing up can be messy and painful, and sometimes even hilarious.
Life is a complicated mix of emotions.
For sure. It's a reminder that even amidst the holiday cheer, there's often a layer of complexity to our lives and relationships.
I think that's something we can all relate to.
Absolutely. Like Isaac's drug-induced freakouts about becoming a dad. They're funny, but they also reveal this genuine fear of responsibility and change that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, definitely. Especially during the holidays when family expectations are high.
Right.
And Ethan yearning for Diana, his ex, it highlights his struggle to let go of the past and embrace the future.
It's like he's holding on to that relationship because it represents a time before his parents died.
Yeah, when things felt simpler.
Exactly. It's a common experience. Holding on to those things that make us feel safe, even when we know we need to move on.
Makes sense.
And then there's Chris and his internal conflict, trying to maintain this perfect public image as this famous athlete while secretly battling his own insecurities and relying on steroids to keep up. It speaks to the pressures and expectations that come with success.
It's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, and it can take a toll.
What I love about The Night Before is that it explores these complex themes through the lens of humor.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It makes us laugh while also inviting us to consider these deeper questions about life relationships and the choices we make as we navigate adulthood.
It's a surprisingly insightful film disguised as a raunchy holiday comedy.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks. And you know what strikes me? It's that The Night Before doesn't just rely on slapstick humor or, silly gags.
Right.
There's real cleverness to the writing, especially when it comes to the social commentary that's kind of woven into Isaac's drug-fueled ramblings.
Yeah.
He makes these absurd observations about society, family life, even the holidays themselves that are hilarious and thought-provoking at the same time.
It's like he becomes this accidental philosopher when he's high,
Right.
spouting out these truths that we all secretly think about but are too afraid to say out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that perfect mix of uncomfortable and hilarious that Seth Rogen just does so well.
He really does. Oh, you remember that scene in the church
Oh, yeah.
when he hallucinates his future daughter as a stripper?
Oh, my God.
I know.
That was wild.
It's outrageous. But it also taps into those universal fears about parenthood and the unknowns of the future.
Yeah, what is my kid gonna be like?
Exactly.
God.
And let's not forget his encounter with James Franco at the Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
Things get unexpectedly intimate.
Uh-huh.
And it's a reminder that even our favorite celebrities are just flawed human beings trying to navigate life's craziness.
They're just like us.
They are. They are. What's so brilliant about those scenes is that they make you laugh, but they also make you think about your own life and your own choices.
That's interesting.
It's like the film is saying, hey, it's okay to be messed up. We're all in this together.
We are.
And it does so in a way that's both funny and strangely comforting.
Right.
One of my favorite scenes is the one in FAO Schwartz, where the guys are trying to recreate that iconic piano scene from the movie Big.
Oh, yes. The one with Tom Hanks.
Yes. So good. It's such a brilliant blend of nostalgia and outrageous humor.
Uh-huh.
Seeing these grown men fueled by holiday spirit and probably some questionable substances attempting to relive their childhood, it's absurd and heartwarming at the same time.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes me think about how the movie plays with that feeling of wanting to hold on to the magic of childhood, especially during the holidays.
Absolutely. And the fact that they're dancing to Kanye West's Runaway,
Yeah.
a song about heartbreak and disillusionment, adds this whole other layer of hilarity and irony.
It's a genius juxtaposition.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It highlights that clash between the innocence of childhood and the complexities of adulthood.
Yeah, for sure.
It's full of these clever little moments that catch you off guard.
I love when movies do that.
Yeah, and it makes you appreciate the attention to detail.
Now, we've talked a lot about the humor, but let's delve a little deeper into some of the symbolism and the thematic layers that are kind of woven throughout the film. We've already touched on the significance of the Christmas Eve tradition and what it represents for the three friends. What about the recurring Christmas imagery? You know, the Nutcracker Ball, the nativity scene, the guys singing Christmas carols. It's more than just festive decoration.
Right. It's like Christmas itself becomes this character in the film.
Exactly. Almost like this backdrop against which these guys are playing out their own personal dramas.
Yeah, and Christmas represents different things to each character.
It does. For Ethan, it's a reminder of loss and grief, a time when his world changed forever.
Right.
For Isaac, it's about starting new family traditions and embracing the next chapter of his life.
Uh-huh.
And for Chris, it's a chance to reconnect with his roots and confront his personal struggles.
It's fascinating how the same holiday can evoke such different emotions and associations for people.
It really is. It all depends on our own individual experiences and what we're going through in our lives at that moment.
Exactly. And the Nutcracker Ball itself becomes this symbol of their desire to recapture their youth.
Uh-huh. To experience that pure, unadulterated joy they felt as kids during the holidays.
Right. It represents this unattainable ideal, a fantasy they're chasing, even though they know it can never truly live up to their expectations.
And yet they're so determined to get there.
They are. It's like this quest, this pilgrimage they have to make to finally let go of their past and move forward.
And what's interesting is that they ultimately realize that the true magic isn't about finding some exclusive party or reliving their glory days.
Right.
It's about the journey they take together, the bonds they strengthen, and lessons they learn along the way.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. The Nutcracker Ball becomes this metaphor for the things we chase in life, the ideals we strive for, and the realization that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination.
I like that. And speaking of journeys, let's talk about Mr. Green again.
Oh, yes, Mr. Green.
He's not just a comedic sidekick or a plot device. He's almost like a spiritual guide for these guys, especially for Ethan. He pops up at these crucial moments, offering cryptic advice and challenging their perspectives.
He's like this mystical figure who seems to understand their struggles on a deeper level.
Right. He pushes them to confront their fears, embrace their flaws, and ultimately find their own paths.
He's like a Christmas Yoda.
Yes, dispensing wisdom wrapped in these bizarre, drug-fueled riddles.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that ending reveal where we find out that Mr. Green is actually Santa Claus's son
I know, it's crazy.
takes things to a whole other level of surrealism.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it adds a layer of magic and fantasy to the film,
Right.
suggesting that maybe, just maybe, there's something more to the holiday season than meets the eye.
Yeah, like a little bit of wonder.
A reminder to believe in the impossible, even when life feels chaotic and overwhelming.
It's a clever way of saying that the holidays can be a time for miracles, a
Yes.
time for unexpected connections, and a time for rediscovering that sense of wonder that we often lose as we get older.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the symbolism and the deeper meaning of the film, but let's not forget that The Night Before is at its core a comedy.
It is. And a damn funny one at that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's got that perfect balance of slapstick, witty dialogue and outrageous situations that just keep you laughing from beginning to end.
The film definitely doesn't shy away from the raunchy and the absurd.
No, it doesn't. But it's never mean-spirited or gratuitous.
Right.
It's like they found that sweet spot where you can push the boundaries of good taste without alienating your audience.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. The humor feels authentic, like something you'd experience with your own friends on a crazy night out.
Real and relatable.
Exactly. Even when it's completely over the top.
And let's be honest, sometimes you just need a good laugh, especially during the holidays when things can get a little too serious.
It's so true. The night before provides that release, that escape from the pressures and expectations.
Yeah, it's a reminder to not take ourselves too seriously, to embrace the chaos, and to find joy in the unexpected.
Love that.
Yeah.
Let's put The Night Before into context within the broader genre of holiday comedies.
Okay.
I mean, it clearly draws inspiration from classics like Home Alone and A Christmas Story.
Oh, for sure. Those are staples.
But The Night Before also has this distinctly modern sensibility.
Mm.
It's edgier, more irreverent, and it explores the complexities of adulthood in a way that those older films didn't necessarily do.
Right. It's a holiday comedy for a new generation.
Exactly.
Yep.
One that's grown up with a different set of experiences and anxieties.
It reflects the realities of our time, social media technology, the constant pressure to succeed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot to handle. But the film does it with a sense of humor and heart that makes it both relatable and entertaining.
Totally. It's like it's saying, hey, we get it, life is tough, but let's not forget to have some fun along the way.
That's a good message.
It is. Now let's talk about Jonathan Levine and his unique style as a director.
Okay.
As we mentioned earlier, he has this incredible ability to blend humor with pathos.
He does his previous work, like 50-50 and Warm Bodies. It demonstrates his ability to tackle sensitive subjects with both sensitivity and wit.
Right. And he brings that same approach to The Night Before,
Yeah.
creating a film that's both hilarious and surprisingly heartwarming.
Yeah. He's not afraid to make you laugh one minute and then tug at your heartstrings the next.
Exactly. And he creates these well-rounded characters that you can't help but connect with, even when they're making questionable choices.
Right. It's all about the characters.
It is. He's a master of capturing those awkward human moments that make us cringe and laugh at the same time. And he lets his actors shine. The performances in this film are fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they really are.
Each character feels so distinct and fully realized.
I agree. He creates this environment where the actors feel comfortable taking risks and exploring the comedic potential of their characters.
And it shows the chemistry between the three leads is undeniable. And the supporting cast is equally brilliant.
It's a well-cast film.
It is. Now, no film is perfect.
True.
And The Night Before is no exception. Some might criticize its pacing, arguing that certain subplots feel underdeveloped or rushed.
Yeah, I could see that. There are a few moments where the film feels like it's trying to cram a little too much into its runtime.
Right. And some of the jokes might not land for everyone.
That's true. Humor is subjective.
It is. But those are relatively minor quibbles in the grand scheme of things.
I agree.
The film's strengths, the humor, the heart, the performances, they far outweigh its flaws.
Definitely. It's a film that embraces its imperfections.
It does, and it delivers a thoroughly entertaining and surprisingly moving experience.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most memorable stories are the ones that are a little messy, a little chaotic, and a whole lot of fun.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. What are some key takeaways from The Night Before that you think our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, it's a reminder that friendships are precious and worth cherishing.
Yeah.
Life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
But true friends will be there to support you through thick and thin.
No matter how crazy things get, these guys always have each other's backs.
Exactly. And secondly, the film reminds us that change is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be scary.
Right.
It's an opportunity for growth and new beginnings.
Like Isaac embracing fatherhood, Ethan finding closure with Diana, and Chris coming to terms with his own struggles.
Exactly. It's about finding a new sense of balance and purpose as we navigate the complexities of adulthood.
And lastly, I think the film reminds us to embrace the spirit of the holidays, to find joy in the simple things, and to create our own traditions that bring meaning and connection to our lives.
Beautifully said. It's about finding that sense of wonder and magic even amidst the chaos and the commercialism.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that thought for a bit. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with our final verdict on The Night Before. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've really dug deep into The Night Before. We've talked about the themes, the humor, and those surprisingly heartwarming moments.
Yeah, it's more than just a silly Christmas comedy.
Right. But the big question, is it worth adding to your holiday movie marathon?
I think so. I think it definitely delivers on that promise of being, a raucous, hilarious, and ultimately heartwarming holiday comedy.
Yeah.
It's got everything you need for a memorable movie night. A stellar cast, talented director, clever script, and a healthy dose of holiday spirit.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
It really is. It embraces that chaos and absurdity of the holidays while also acknowledging those, deeper emotions that bubble up this time of year.
Definitely. It's a reminder that life is messy, unpredictable. And sometimes you just gotta laugh at it all.
You gotta laugh.
Yeah.
And the film really celebrates friendship.
It does. Those bonds that see us through, thick and thin, even when we're making bad decisions and ending up in ridiculous situations.
Exactly. It reminds us to cherish those connections and appreciate the people who know his best flaws and all.
Right.
And it encourages us to embrace change, even when it's scary and uncertain.
Yeah. Like we see those characters dealing with some big life transitions, grief, fatherhood, the pressures of fame,
Yeah.
and ultimately finding a way to move forward, with hope and optimism.
It's a good reminder that growth is a process.
It is. It can be messy, unpredictable, but that's what shapes us.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the humor.
Oh, yeah, the humor.
The Night Before is packed with laugh-out-loud moments, from the over-the-top shenanigans to the witty banter between the guys.
It's the kind of humor that appeals to everyone, smart and silly.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a film that doesn't take itself too seriously,
Yeah.
and that's part of its charm.
It is. It knows how to poke fun at those holiday movie conventions while still delivering a genuinely heartwarming story about friendship, family, and the importance of, being present.
Right. So our final verdict,
Drum roll, please.
if you're looking for a holiday movie that's both hilarious and heartfelt, one that will make you laugh, think, and maybe even shed a tear or two, The Night Before is worth checking out.
Absolutely. It's a modern holiday classic that deserves a spot on everyone's watch list.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, though. What are your favorite holiday comedies? What movies do you watch every year to get into the holiday spirit?
Leave a comment below. Let us know.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world of film.
We've got lots more movies to break down.
Until next time, happy watching.